Yo, what's going on, everyone? Brian and Jim here from Drink a Beer and Play a Game, and today starts off the beginning of our Simpsons-a-thon month. And what better way to start off than the uber popular game, The Simpsons Arcade.
Released in 1991, this game was developed and produced by Konami. The early 90s were the golden age of multiplayer arcade cards, and this one was no different. This had a 4-player cabinet that allowed everyone to play as the main members of The Simpsons: Bart, Lisa, Homer, and Marge. Can't play as Maggie because, well, your goal is to rescue her. This is one of the most popular arcade games of all time, and it was also, along with X-Men, one of the most requested to be brought over to Xbox Live. And guess what? It actually did in 2012. So let's start this baby up.
Alright. Let's look around. Go into the games. Go down to S. Wait a second. What? No. Where is it? What the? What? No!
Jim, calm down. It's cool.
Got $10!
It's alright. I know you're pissed off.
Gone.
I know. It's bullshit. They should have sent out something, but don't worry. I got us covered. I got an even easier way for us to play this game. Hold on.
Wait, what?
Let me just boot this up right here.
Wait, what the? What? Oh, god damn it.
And here we go. Alright, now that we finally got this sumbitch loaded, let's take a look at the graphics. Now for the time, holy shit, were these good looking. Look at all the colors. Check out all these different backgrounds. All the bosses are highly detailed. Even all the sprites are detailed. It's just really good. Yeah, sure, some of your enemies fall from that, palette swapped and just same throughout the game, but still. Me and Jim, even to this day, we're still impressed. And although we're comparing it to other arcade games, it still holds its own. So overall, we both gave it a 7. So to ensure you enjoy these graphics the way they were meant to be, let's only add one to the beer requirement meter.
Alright, the sound, again, it's pretty damn good. The opening Simpsons theme is actually pretty faithfully restored in this game, even though it is a little tinny, a little almost robotic. Well, it's the early 90s, what are you going to do? This is long before the day of real digital sound coming out of video games, so it's the best you're going to get. In-game, the sound effects, they're not bad. They're pretty standard, but they're not the usual mishmash of beat-em-up sounds. And the voiceover works pretty damn good. There isn't a ton of it, but the stuff that you have here, it gets the job done. Overall, while some of the music and sound effects can be a little grating on the ears after a while, it's nothing that's offensive, it doesn't take away from the game, and it definitely gets the job done. I mean, for the time, it was really good, and it still holds up pretty well today. So, we had to give it 7s.
And when it comes to our beer requirement meter,
You only need another beer to enjoy the sound here. Doesn't take much to get enjoyment out of this game.
Alright, moving on for the control. Well, you got 2 buttons. You got a punch button, and you got a jump button. And if you hit them together, you do a special move. See how Marge hits them with their ass? Yeah. Other than that, there's nothing really to say. It's an early beat 'em up. It's just mindless button mashing. There's not really a lot of strategy in it. We couldn't give it perfect just for a pure sense that you're just mindlessly hitting the control, but it's responsive as all hell, and there's really no problems with it. So, in the end, we gave it a 9. What the hell, throw on another beer, just because it's not perfect 10.
Alright, the gameplay. It's a beat 'em up. There's not a lot to be found here in terms of gameplay variety, but it does give you stuff to make the gameplay experience a little more interesting. For one, like with a lot of beat 'em ups, you have a lot of items around for different weapons and to get your power back, which is always welcome. Depending on the player combinations you have, you can actually do combo attacks, which are always fun, and they look different and, work completely different depending on which characters you use. So that adds a little bit more strategy and fun to the game. Besides that, it's really just good old-fashioned run through levels, beat up everyone action. Oh, and fight bosses. And to spice up the overall feel, there's a couple mini games they throw in there just to break up the action a bit. Brian gave it an 8, and I gave it a 7, combining for a 7.5. It does its job pretty damn well. Once again, you're not going to need a lot of beer to enjoy this, so we'll throw in another beer. Why not? Beer makes everything better.
When it comes to the originality, this game is no trailblazer. By this point, you already had Double Dragon in the arcades, and it kind of set the standard for most of these beat 'em up styles. The most original thing I saw in this game is throwing Snowball, your cat. Look at this. That's pretty goddamn funny. Other than that, though, let's be honest. The most original thing about this game is the novelty of it being the first Simpsons game. Enjoying all your characters, seeing so many references to the show. That's where it got all the points from us. So, realistically, me and Jim, we couldn't help but give it 6s. And if you combined all three, oh no! It's the mark of the beast! Sorry about that outburst. So I'm gonna add one more beer because I'm an asshole.
Alright, replayability. Unfortunately, as far as that goes, there's really not that much here. It's your basic beat 'em up. If you play it once, you basically played it all. Now, if you played it in the arcade game, this is a definite quarter muncher. This is made to take your money and it makes no qualms about it. If you're playing on a emulator, or if you're playing on Xbox Live, well, it's a pretty damn easy game to beat. It almost gets a little bit boring towards the end because of how, there's no real threat of ever losing. But the fun factor of the game helps it out, and it makes you want to come back for more. Brian gave it a 5, I gave it a 4. Like we said, not a lot to be found, but it is still strangely playable and replayable just because of how fun it is. When it comes to the beer, we'll throw another beer in there. Who knows? You may just want to kill time, chill with your friends, drink some beers, and rock this game out. And it'd actually be better if you had the actual arcade cabinet, but who's got $2,500?
Overall, there's not too much left to say. It's a classic game. If you get a chance to play this in an arcade cabinet, definitely spend your quarters on that. But for those of us who can't afford an arcade cabinet, or can't find an arcade that carries this anymore, well, you can't play it on Xbox Live anymore, which sucks. So you may need to turn to alternative methods, like emulation. Not that we're promoting that.
Yeah.
But either way, like I said, in all honesty, it's an awesome game. Just try it out. I gave it an 8. Jim gave it a 6. That motherfucker. So it rounds out to a 7. And with a beer requirement meter score of 6, well, as you can see, that's still in the green to us. That means you can go grab yourself a 6-pack and play this game. But if you're like me and you gotta play with someone like Jim, you may want him to bring his own 6-pack for himself, because it's gonna be a long night.
And for our beer pairing, we're gonna go with Molson XXX on this one. Why, you say? Well, it's got a high alcohol content, which is good. The game's monotonous enough and easy controlling that you're not gonna have to concentrate hard, you're just hitting 2 buttons. So, even if you're impaired, it's not gonna be that bad for you. Also, the game only lasts basically a little over a half hour. So, you can drink and not get alcohol poisoning either, and you'll still probably be pretty messed up by the end of the game. Molson XXX, the perfect beer to pair with the Simpsons arcade game.
Thank you guys for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like or hit subscribe. Come back on Monday for our next game review where we look at Bart versus the Space Mutants. See you then.